Dit is hartstikke awesome Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. What's up, guys? What's up, insiders? Thank you for joining us. This is episode 165. We got a lot of fun stuff to share with you. It's going to be a great show, like always. And I'm just doing my sharing. So if you haven't shared, share the show right now. And tell everyone about the podcast as well. Not just that we're live on Facebook, but check us out.
You know what I was thinking, Jeff? I was thinking this the other day. You know what we haven't gotten in a while?
What's up?
We haven't gotten reviews from the insiders.
I know.
What's up, insiders? Where you guys
do that? We need to influence some people to do that.
We're doing our part. You guys got to do your part.
I know. So thank you guys so much for all the support. Thank you to Virtual Fight Tour, our sponsor. And they just contacted us about some cool things they're going to do to finish the year out. Maybe some ideas. I know that they've been working on some cool things like some documentaries and some awards. So going to be cool to do something like that. Excited to hear more about what is next for VFT, Virtual Fight Tour. It's been a great thing for our sport. So, and a great person that does so much for our sport and is a great coach and school owner and
100%.
encourager and everything. So he supports everything Martial Arts Center Network does. So thank you, Jesse Ray.
Yeah, and Jesse's got a great thing going with VFT. There's a lot of things in sport karate right now that you're either super excited about or you're like, I don't know. But everything Jesse's doing and with Virtual Fight Tour, man, everyone's excited about. I know I am.
Yes, sir. What's up, Doug? What's up, Andrew? We got some fun things to share today. Yes, if you see seniors, commas, elite, what does all that mean? We will see. But first, we're going to get into our competitors of the week.
We waste no time.
Wasting no time today. It's funny because we thought at first, like, we don't have much to talk about. We always got lots to talk about. It's you and I. We can talk about anything. So
have we ever had a short show?
No.
No.
Never. All right. So my competitor of the week is Deshaun, and she was a great competitor of Team Elite. Actually, it reminded me today. Let's see. Yesterday. Okay. So my good friend Mallory Woods is in Hawaii
Friend
right
of the
now.
show.
Friend of the show. Sport martial arts.
Been on the show.
Team Elite, Team CJB member. He messages me and he goes, "Hey, wasn't Deshaun B the name of the girl that was on our team years ago?" He was just making sure he had all it right. I was like, "Yeah, what about it?" "I swear, I'm in Hawaii right now. I swear, I think I see her." I'm like, okay. He's like, "Should I go check and see if it's her?" I was like, "Yeah, why not? Of course."
Of course.
Oh,
there's no scenario in which we would say, no, don't do that.
And so let me see. I have to share some of it. And he's just like, oh, man. Yeah, he's just like, "I'm sure it's her. I got to get closer." So he's like telling me step by step of what he's doing. And it's hilarious, right? I'm just like, I got to get closer. I think it's her. And I'm just laughing. He's like, I mean, she has a tank top, some tats. It's kind of embarrassing, but if I go up and do it, but and then what do you think my response would be? If for us that know Deshaun B, what did she used to wear in competition? What was one thing that was something she always did? Do you remember?
Oh, I remember the thing she always did with her hands.
All right. Well, okay. Well, there's that. I'm talking about she always had one pant leg up or actually both her pant legs rolled up, right?
Yes. I remember both of them.
Yeah, both of them rolled up, which is what Kyle Richards actually stole from her. He loved watching her. And he was like, "You know what? That's going to be my style. She's not competing anymore. I'm going to take that." Right?
Yeah.
And so I asked her, I said, "Well, does she have her pant legs rolled up?"
That's hilarious.
Hey, and so he goes, I asked, it's not her, but I told him she had a twin and looked alike. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna have her as my competitor of the week.
Dude, she
Deshaun
was
Bay,
a super cool competitor.
she had the best personality, so much fun. She did great in forms, weapons, and fighting. Was from New Jersey, and when she was an amazing junior competitor, competed all over in the Northeast, and joined Team Elite, I believe at the end of '97. And so I think Empire State was her first event. So she just dominated the junior divisions, doing mostly NASCA, where it was first to 5, and she was just beating people 5-0 like it was nothing, and just her timing was great. She had style. She was a great kicker, great hands. When she moved up to adults, the first tournament that she had as adults was Charlie Lee's World Series of Martial Arts. She won the grands, her divisions, every single match she had, and no one touched her. All right, no one touched her. I don't know what's popping.
That's something.
Yeah, that was just awesome, right? She's like untouchable, and so I would love to see her continue on more and more. She had so much potential. I think she only did 99 and 2000, really like consistently as an adult, and then kind of just faded away from there. But a great competitor, lots of fun. You knew when she was in the building.
Well, she just had such a cool style, like we talked about, like what she did with her hands, and when she would be back, and she would it was almost like she was doing like a swimming motion with her hands,
Yeah.
But she had the pant legs rolled up, which, seems weird at first, but in the time, remember the uniforms, we didn't have really high quality uniforms like we do today. So we had like the brush, they weren't brush cotton, they were like poly cotton, But when you sweat a lot and you fight and you got a chamber high, guys would just pull on their pant leg, right?
Yep.
Well, if you have your pant leg rolled up, you ain't got nothing to pull on.
Right. I mean, Jesse Ray would do that. We used to see pictures of Jody doing that back in the day, always had his pant leg rolled up. So it was a northern thing. Deshaun B, Mike Bates. So she was from 98, 99, 2000. Was on Team Elite from New Jersey.
Definitely YouTube that. You can find anything.
Yeah, YouTube that. See if we can find her on there. But ask some people about her. Ask more people about her. Ask Akin Williams. Ask Jody Tension, Jesse Ray, Kodak. I know was a huge fan of hers. So she also was on team with. Yes, you're right. Drew Beatty used to roll her pant leg up too. Yep, same reason. Yep. Let's see what was again. Oh, she used to be on Marco's team, the Johnsons, Bam's team.
Oh yeah. What was that team?
I don't remember, but she was on that from 2000, 2001. So, but yeah, another great competitor. So, all right.
Well, my competitor of the week, right? Similar time frame as far as when that competitor was out. Maybe it was a little bit before, definitely a little bit after. My competitor of the week is Matt Cato. Now, Matt Cato is from the New England area. Dude was just a different level of cool.
From Don Rodriguez school originally.
Yep. Spent some time on a bunch of teams.
Yep.
He was on
DS though.
Yep. He was on Straight Up. But he was one of the team DS members. Now at the time, DS was there was like a lot of the cool kids were just on DS.
Yeah.
It was but it was like it's like we talked about earlier, like, I don't know, episode 1, 2, or 3 of the pod that we had, right? You were like, oh yeah, but I could have been on DS, but no one was paying anything. So
right.
So that was the kind of thing. Why? But I got it. I got like why guys did it, because it was a lot of guys who were super cool. Like,
well, they were family. You know what I mean? Like, especially with the original group, they all trained together. They were, Matt Cato and
well, then you also had guys like Anthony Murata who were on that team, who didn't necessarily fit geographically, but it was like, okay, that just makes sense. Like, we get it, right? Same similar age.
Yeah.
You guys are all basically in the same divisions.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So, but his forms super cool. He did he had a nice team form. I think he did a team form with Mark Nadeau also.
At
Right?
one point, I believe so.
Yeah, I think they did the Devil Went Down to Georgia thing.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
no, he also had. Well, I think that was Robbie. I think that was Robbie Androzzi that did that with Matt, and then also, and also with Mark. Yeah, so they've done several different ones. But yeah, Matt. It's funny. Matt has been putting a lot of stuff. Yeah, that's right. Cody Deesberg was on DS. That's a funny thing.
Isn't it wild?
Yeah. What's up, Sam? Matt Cato, he's been putting a lot of stuff on Instagram of old stuff, man. And I'm looking at stuff like, dude, he was really ahead of his time. And his height that he could get back then, like his corks, his
double leg.
pulls, his double leg was one of the best ever. Was really cool just to see, and I think right now he's talking about getting back into it, like as far as wanting to compete and stuff. So it's really
I
cool
hope he
to
comes
see.
back and does moves like that. Like what I
Yes.
liked about when he would do his double leg is he would do his double. He did it a little different because some guys like Anthony Atkins would do it, right? He would go. Anthony Atkins probably had the best one, right? Because he would go side to side and would go sky high, right? So it's like, all right, yeah, you just covered like almost corner to corner without steps, and you touched the ceiling with the bottoms of your feet. That's not real. Right. But Matt would do it going straight forward at the judges, but would do like a turn and land with his back. So he would do the double leg and turn, and it set up a really cool turnout. Whether there'd be a chop punch, it was a strike. It was a really cool, nice transition.
Yeah, he did the John Valera version, which was where that kind of came from. So,
but it was very clean, very clean.
Definitely. And just while we're on that, just sharing just some sad news for someone who was a big part of same area as Matt Cato, Tori Andriosi. She just passed away. She had been a survivor. She was from Don Rodriguez's school. She had been a survivor as she got hit when she was 12 years old by a drunk driver after she was like going home from school. Okay. And just passed away, had brain damage. And her mom just made every day special for her, had her doing dance classes and pageants and all kinds of things. It just kept life as great as she could for her during this time. She was, bound to a wheelchair. Her martial arts family stayed close to her every year. They've done so many different fundraisers and things for her. And she just passed away. I think it was yesterday. So just wanted to share that. That was a definitely, just something sorry to hear. But just also just a amazing that, she was able to extend this life and touch people, to keep fighting, to keep going. And just that bond that she had with her mother was great. So just wanted to shout that out. And I know a lot of people from the Rhode Island area were really close to them. And so wanted just to share that today as well.
Yeah, it would be hard not to after, and I didn't know this story, but I mean, if you knew that, like it would be hard not to be really drawn to them and close to them if you knew all those details.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we have.
Let's see. Time before we get into it. I have to know this.
Yeah.
What was your costume for Halloween?
Oh,
What did you do?
Dress up, but
Get
that's
out
not
of here.
true.
Come on,
That's
yes,
not true. I put on a Winnie the Pooh costume. So
Winnie the Pooh? That's a solid costume.
Which is kind of funny because all right, so like I like Friday and Saturday I was busy doing all of my belt testing and stuff for what's in the style they call me a master, right? So it's kind of funny because I always joke about Grandmaster Poobah that and then I'm wearing the Pooh costume with my master belt. So it's kind of funny. It kind of worked out. I just joked about that, Grandmaster Poobah. But yeah, anyways, I didn't stuff my belly with anything to look like a real Grandmaster, but one day, maybe one day. How about you?
Oh, yeah. So it was funny, right? So um, now what we've gotten to do with the kids, what we used to do is we all used to do just a theme. Like, all right, what do you want to do? Okay, then everybody's going to basically do around that. So years ago, asked my daughter what she wanted to be, and to no surprise, she said, I want to be a princess. So like, all right, there's no talking her out of that. So everybody's just going to do something around that. So I was the king, my wife was the queen, she was a princess. And at that time, we just had Zachary. So I was like, all right, Zachary, you're going to be a dragon, right?
Right.
Which we reused that this year for my son, Adrian. So this year, so like the last year, there was no really talking about it because there's no thing that could happen because
Correct.
she's very much little girl and he is very much little boy, and they're the opposite, right? So she wanted to be a rainbow sparkle unicorn princess riding a unicorn. This is a real costume. This actually exists.
Yo, I love your daughter because I remember
thing.
this conversation when it came to like birthday
Oh,
presents, Christmas
one of the
presents,
Christmas gifts she got, right?
all the Christmas gifts,
Yeah.
like all these random things. Yeah, what's funny though, it reminds me of like me asking for just everything when I sat on Santa's lap, just crazy stuff. What's up, Murphy?
Yeah, what up, Murph? I was actually just thinking of the show we did with Murph not that long ago. You know what I was thinking about too, Murph? I hope
It
you're
was
still
around
listening.
Halloween time.
That's right. That's what I was thinking of. All right, Murph had a great statement. He said, I don't really do a lot of that because the devil plays back. Murph is 100% right on.
Yep.
All right. So my son, he's like, I want to be a T-Rex. So last year he wanted to be a T-Rex. We couldn't find him a T-Rex. So he was still a dinosaur. He was not getting off that. T-Rex, daddy, T-Rex. So he was a T-Rex. So then I was a T-Rex, but we were supposed to go to this costume party. And I was supposed to be Blippi.
I need to see you wearing that, bro. I need to see you wearing the blow up uniform.
Oh, that I could do. Yeah, that's not hard to do. But I was supposed to be.
Go ahead.
I was supposed to be Blippi. Do you know who Blippi is?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Anybody don't know who Blippi is? YouTube Blippi. Just type it in. You type in B and Blippi. it'll just be suggested, right? So didn't happen because I was supposed to be DJing this party. I'm like, I can't be wearing like a dinosaur costume. I got to be able to work at the same time, So that's what I was gonna do. Didn't happen. So still got this Blippi costume. So yeah, it was cool. My wife was she had the coolest one. She just looked like she was riding a flamingo. So it's one of those ones where it's like it's only like midsection down, and it's blowing air through it. So basically, she was air conditioned the entire time.
Oh wow,
So
those are always great. Yeah.
And I'll say this one part, and then we'll move on. So we do the trick or treating thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we go, and I had to show you this. So there's a couple houses, full size. This house also decides, here, Dad, here you go. Oh, Mike, what is this? Just little shots of Fireball, right?
Oh my God!
Oh no, it's no joke. You go 2-3 houses down. This is they hand you a blue moon. Like I'm not even making this up.
Wow.
It's a real thing, right? And then she's also here's a shot of gin. Like whoever took a shot of gin, right?
Right.
Nobody.
They're just passing that out. Man, what a neighborhood.
Yeah, but then there was still only like nobody out.
It was raining and super like no one was out on Monday. It was bad.
Dude, couldn't believe it.
And I was busy all like Friday and Saturday, so like I didn't even notice. I didn't really do most of this other stuff, so that's all right. All right, so actually we got some VFT breaking news. All right, so
get ready for it.
Jesse Ray just told us right now, tell everyone to go and to Virtual Fight Tour on YouTube. All right, go to Virtual Fight Tour on YouTube, like and subscribe, and guess what is up? VFT Bristol fight is up, so you can view it on YouTube, the whole thing. So
yeah, I want to check that out.
That is exciting, guys. Some of you guys missed it. Go to YouTube, go and check it out. Virtual Fight Tour That is 2 T's in a row on YouTube. Subscribe, like it, and check out the Bristol fight. So Bristol Open fight, which was a great one. So
Watching the fight's
support them.
important to watch the fights too, because you could look at it and go, all right, end result, Europe won. Oh, wow, they must have dominated. That's not necessarily the case.
No.
You know, like I tell that about people, you know, because I love watching basketball. I love basketball. So there's so many guys that just don't even watch games. They just like watch highlights and pay attention to box scores. And I'm like, yo, you got to watch the game. What happened?
Right.
What are you showing me?
Doug just sent me a picture of him in the blow up unicorn thing.
I got to see this.
I can't.
There's no way to put it on. There's no way to put it on.
Let's see if I can. Is that good right there? See
that? That's Doug inside of that?
That's Doug inside of that.
That's something. Wow. If you're listening to this show,
oh my God,
you have to go back and watch the video.
Oh, I love you, Doug. You're a great one. All right, so I had a couple students that just came back from WKU championships in Wales. They had a great time. 5 golds for my students. You know, they medaled in 6 divisions, so it was a great time. I just saw
6 medals and 5 of them were gold.
No. They each got 6 medals.
They each got 6.
Yeah, medals. One of my guys did 8 division, the other one did 7. So yeah, pretty good. You know, and you know, over there, at least in their age groups, the biggest divisions were fighting and the traditional forms. Traditional forms were really big. The hard style and the Japanese ones were dominated by a lot of the Italians. So the Italian teams, they have a lot of their top competitors that compete in the traditional karate tournaments, like the WKF style, and then they go and do WKU. So it was really good for them to do that. But some of them also do the weapons and forms as well. So I know one of my students, Taylor, he lost to the kid in traditional, but then beat him in weapons, you know, the next one. So they had a great time on that. The Americans did win the most medals this year. I think it was, oh man, I'm going to get those numbers so I can look because they just posted it. Here we go. All right. So medal ranking, 84 golds, 78 silver, and 108 bronze for USA. Germany was the second one, 72, 79, and 97. England was 66, 69, and 82. Wales was 4th with 43, 41, and 55. And Northern Ireland was 22, 22, and 25. The next 6 was like Italy. Then we had Lebanon, Scotland, New Zealand, Austria, Canada, Honduras, Greece, Austria, Bulgaria, Spain, Czech Republic, Switzerland, Brazil. These are just the top 23. Uganda, Turkey, Mexico, and Iraq.
Uganda and Iraq?
Yeah. So they had competitors there, man. So,
okay.
Yeah. So
honestly, I've never fought an Iraqi before. That would be something.
So yeah. So I mean, here's something that's different. I've heard some crazy stories. You know, I haven't gotten it officially from the people that happened to, but just from my students. And this is the first time they've gone over there, and they were just like, you know, I had told them that, you know, we usually hit harder than a lot of the Europeans. Over there at WKU, I guess Waco and WKU are different on that part.
I have not experienced this. I've heard of this. I've heard this come true.
They hit a lot harder. I know one of my students, she's still suffering from a concussion. And the other one broke his nose. You know, they medaled, but, you know, just a little different. Then we have at least 5 to 6 knockouts that they saw with their own eyes. You know, now they're competing the whole time just in point fighting, not in continuous, a low kick, whatever. So just a little different, you know. Now, one of the stories I heard was that one of the group, I heard it was England, that they were trying to drop the Americans, right? And every
Like-
time they did,
Like
they
take us
would
out.
like drop them, right? Yes, they also have Kumite as well, but all the English competitors would have cameras and be like taking pictures of the fallen Americans, right? This is what I'm hearing, and
Wow.
now, but the Germans were friends with the Americans, and so that's all I'm hearing. Well, the Germans are covering the Americans with flags, and I'm sitting there thinking, wait, what? So
Wait a minute. What do you mean covering them with?
I know. Hold on. I'm going to tell you what went through my head. I'm thinking they try to knock them out and then covered them with their flag like they just killed them. That's what I'm thinking. They're like, no.
That's what I
they mean-
interpreted.
Yeah, exactly. No. They are trying to help the Americans. Because all of them, when you compete at those events, like
You're
almost
always-
every single person has a flag of their country,
Yeah,
right?
you're always
So
draping
they
the flag.
all
It's true.
just put their flags up to surround the Americans, so that way the English couldn't take pictures, right, of them. That's what it was. I want to find out more about this, but apparently, if you want to hit, WKU is where it is. All right, so
Wow.
so that's an interesting thing, because we always think and we hear, that's primarily Waco thing. Oh, it's not as strong. There's some competitors that hit hard, but yes. All right, here we go, Joe. Thanks for tuning in. They were hiding our downed fighters to keep the English from filming them. Okay.
So that's crazy, man, to think of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That, I mean, I can't think of a scenario in any high level tournament in America where Travis mentioned this. And I think you and I echoed this, that
Mhm.
when it doesn't matter what team you're on, if you find yourself competing, even if it's an open tournament, and you find yourself competing in other nations, like in another nation, even though it's an open tournament, you just find yourself like a bit more unified as a
Right.
country. Like even if it's like someone who's on Paul Mitchell and you don't like that team, or if it's straight up and you don't like that team, like you find yourself unified.
Mhm.
I don't think they would try that at a WKC event. Right?
Oh,
I just think
Yeah.
if you got those level of fighters, I just think if you got like next year at WKU, oh man, England better watch out. Because I think next year at WKU, there's going to be some backlash. There has to be. There
yeah,
has
being
to
in
be
Canada
backlash.
and Calgary and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So Andrew's saying Germans don't get along with anybody, but
But
apparently
the Germans
they
get
got
along with Americans pretty
which is
well.
odd historically.
yeah.
But hey,
Yeah. But yeah, so really interesting. I've heard good things about it. A great week. So looking forward to hearing more. But that's what happened last week. So great job, Team USA did an awesome job. Great job, Anthony Price, Lori Stanley, for the team that you guys put together.
and Anthony Price is the head coach.
Yep, Anthony Price, head coach,
Great choice,
as
too.
well as Terry Kramer's one of the coaches as well. So great job, guys. All right, so let's get into some fun stuff.
Let's have ourselves some fun, man.
Let's see. All right, one of the guys. Let's see. I think it's Brennan. He's a Team Revolution member, and he just kind of put up. All right, who is your favorite all-time comma competitor? Right.
Yeah.
Go. And I love that question, just because I feel like comma competitors sometimes don't get the love, or we don't talk about them as much, So favorite comma competitors. I mean, do we do a top 5? Do we list some
I
different
think
ones?
you and I should list our top 5s.
All right. When you hear favorite comment, what's the first person that pops in your head? Let's just do that, because I think that's great. First person.
First person is not the best, but it's the first person who pops in my head is Mike Chat.
Okay. So you think Mike Chat. Awesome. First person I think of is Rudy Reyna. And that's my favorite one,
And he
just
might be the
because of his style, and I think he's one of the best of all time.
Yeah.
Rudy Reynolds, my favorite. And then I think right after that, I think John Valera.
So I think
because of
I think
speed.
that's what I went. Because I went Mike John.
Right. Right. And honestly, I think Mike is known more for commas than John is. To
This is
me,
true.
Mike had more success in weapons in a lot of ways than he
I
did
think
forms.
Mike
So,
is
and more legendary in weapons to me, I think, than forms.
yes,
Yeah.
that's what I was about. I think he's more. I think he's pretty responsible for a lot of the growth.
Yeah.
For the popularity of commas, because there was a time where it was just for weapons, it was bow.
Mm.
A couple of guys did some chucks. There was a couple of guys that did some commas, and there was like 2 guys who would do commas. All
Well,
right.
that's not true. There was a lot of common competitors, but none that stood out.
Okay, yeah, and that's where I'm. That's where I'm.
It,
Nothing
that
that's
made
really
it look different than just their open form, right? Let's just So yeah.
I think Mike did a really good job of teaching the masses. Really, hey guys, this is how we should do it, right? And so many people literally picked up his comment videos, and like almost everybody I knew owned like 2 of his comment videos, right? I don't think he was better than like a John Valera. I don't. I think John was better, right? But I'm just talking about at the time,
right?
But I mean, I don't think either one of them are their best. I mean,
right.
Rudy
For me,
might be
I
better.
think Rudy. We're getting some good stuff here. Tyler Weaver is a good one. Switch to flying commas. I think he's one that gets the publicity more, right?
Yeah.
To me, though, Tim Conkle is better, and Tim actually influenced young Tyler Weaver a lot, and people don't really know that. Tim Conkle is one who can do legit flying commas and regular commas, like the full-on ones, and so can Tyler. I'm not trying to disparage Tyler. I think a name that people don't mention enough is Tim Conkle. Another one is great is Cole Presley. I think he's a great competitor with those commas.
And here's the thing. I think you got to look at it. So when you look at that and you go, all right, so let's just take the Mike and John. Like they're super popular for what they did with that. But then you might look at like Cole and you think, all right, if you plucked Cole and put him in 1998.
Oh, he'd win everything.
He'd win everything.
Yeah.
Yep. So then why is he not the best?
Right.
You see, and that's why it's so hard when you're talking about forms, because as the years go on, it just gets so much better. But here's a question I got for you. Legitimate question. Where do you think Anthony Murata falls in that? Since we mentioned him earlier on the show, like, what do you?
To me, he's probably the most like Mike Chat.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
You know, he was good, but in the grand scheme of things, at his time, he would lose a lot to Daniel Sterling as far as in weapons, right? So Daniel Sterling was like the guy, and Anthony was that next one, you know, super clean, had good flair, had flash. Both those guys, great competitors.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, to me, actually, 2 competitors right there that are flying commas, and flying commas don't get enough credit. Butch Tokasala, one of the best with the flying commas. And then we had him on our show, Edgar Cordova. You know, his first title as an adult, he beats Butch Tokasala. How about that? How about a change into the guard moment right there? It's freaking awesome, right?
So,
and he's still doing it.
So the flying commas, do you think people don't do it enough because it is a harder skill to pick up and maybe it doesn't translate to scores? Because
there's that, and nowadays people think that, oh, well, you have it attached to your hand and you don't do a release with it, so it's not that hard, which is
no,
crazy. Yeah,
it's so much harder.
No, it's so much harder. Yeah, so that's what I think. I think like people don't, you know. To me, one of my favorite flying comma competitors was, we already mentioned him, Mark Nadeau. And he was influenced by Gasper Catanzaro. They were all from
these names.
Don Rodriguez's school, and amazing competitors. So
I like Mark Nadeau. Mark Nadeau was very good at that. Like, he was good. And the only thing I think is a downside to the flying commas is anytime you see somebody with the flying commas on, you know at some point, all right, I'm going to see you in the middle of the ring in a horse stance. Right. and you're gonna go up and down, left and right, up and down, left and right. But the rest of the form is actually way cooler, you
Yeah.
know? So it's like, I don't know, maybe it's harder to be creative with the flying commas because
I think
I don't
people need to see. So I need to
don't know
see
because I've never done them.
like Tim Conkle's flying comma was awesome to me, and so was Martin Native's. His was very, very very really good. So very really good.
Look
That
at what
makes no sense.
Andrew's. Andrew's right on. Look at that.
Yeah, Cheech Luzzy. Yep. Brett Sherman said it's painful. I did it for 5 years. Had many bruises and holes in the back from them. Yeah, sounds like it.
Dude, I heard old school. This is one of those like Paul Bunyan like tales,
Right.
where there was a guy who was doing like flying commas. This is like, I think this is back in like the 80s when people would still use like real weapons,
Right.
and like was doing them, and they got clanked, and it went in his head. And man, I
shared a story about that on here before at a local tournament. The guy did that, and it went right here in the back of his head.
Dude,
Yeah, bad.
talk about a poor life choice.
Right. Hey,
Man.
we're Drew had a great comma form with the ball, with the traditional one. Do you remember that? Where he did the comma and it had the ball at the end?
The mace at the end. I did.
Yeah, that was cool. I always liked that.
Yeah, I remember watching that.
Two competitors that grew up with me, well,
very
three
nervous.
really. My division when I was 9, 10, 11, 12 was Jennifer Santiago, great common competitor that did her tradition. She pretty much did commas and then would do like impy or a traditional form and then do the form and then all of a sudden go just go freestyle, right? It was really cool, the style that she did. Then we had someone who is known as the best ever or the best ever in sword, who to me is one of my favorite common competitors, and that was Calvin Choka.
Yeah.
Young Calvin Choka's comma form was so awesome, and he was very innovative at the time. When he stuck things, it like
guys today wouldn't know that.
It would just popped. It was so good. And he was one of the first ones that did he would slide his hands down the bottom of the comma and then spin like this and then flare and do into aerials.
To bring it back up.
Yeah, he did really cool stuff, man. So I always loved that. And another one was Guy Burkett. Guy Burkett had one of the coolest comma twirls. Again, guys, this is something that people don't do anymore. And I shared that I did a comma seminar Friday, and I was saying, figure eights and commas aren't a thing anymore. It's kind of funny, right? But when we were growing up, we would do figure eights and it would go through your fingers. You turn it upside down and you do all this, that. It's not really a thing. It's more finger rolls and thumb spins and releases now, right? And catches and stuff. But when I was growing up, like this whole area of my hand
was just raw.
And then my wrist, I had tendonitis at least once a month from figure eighting and turning upside down. That's what it was.
Turning your fingers, trying to get in between. Yeah.
But
and I remember
the guy had an awesome. He did the figure eight and he reversed it and he went the full circle, right? And he did that into some really cool things. That's one of my favorite roles as well. But that's just something that it's just funny. We don't see that anymore, like the figure eights as much.
No, and in the 90s, it was almost thought like you have to reverse the comma at someone.
If not, then you're just doing an open form.
Yeah, and it was thought that you have to show that you are versatile enough to where you can turn it around. And I think the first person I saw do a championship level form without reversing it was John Valera.
Yeah, it was John. Yep.
And I'm like, I think that's the best, but he didn't reverse it.
Right.
Really? I guess he still wins. We can do this.
Well, because it was all about speed, then he switched it. Now when he was younger, he reversed it a bunch.
And maybe he changed the game so much.
Yeah. But yeah, Andrew's right. Yeah, because back in the day, the use of weapon was for combat. So that's exactly what we did. Tim Wong says Adam Taudetta.
That's a solid name. Didn't think
another great competitor from Team Chat. So we're sharing some good stuff. Who are some favorites now? Connor Chastain is one of mine that I really enjoy. Right now, the most successful ones are Haley Glass and Alex Mencius. Both of them know how to turn it on. And I tell
So
you
if
what,
we had
they
to say
they put that extra like intensity and showmanship into their
stage
weapon, man.
presence.
Stage presence.
Stage presence, yeah.
And
for
then
sure.
someone who was my competitor of the week last week, Philip Brumet, man. This kid's insane.
All right. So if we had to say a top 5, what would we be saying here?
Mm.
You know?
See, when you said Joey Ueda. Okay, yeah. When I think of Joey Ueda, Carmichael, I think of Psy. But yeah, I know what you mean. He had an awesome Psy form. All right. Best combos.
Let's
Just top 5 without any like
ranking.
Yeah,
let's do it.
You
want me to go first? I'll go first.
Yeah, we'll just kind of go back and forth.
I'll go John Valera, Rudy Renan. Man, I just like Anthony Murata. I'm putting him in.
That's in yours? Okay.
That's in mine. He's going in there. Tyler Weaver. I think it's probably Cole Presley.
Yeah.
No.
This is really hard. Because now I'm thinking the ones I'm going to have to exclude.
There's only 5.
There's another name.
Glass. No, I think I put Haley Glass.
Haley Glass is legit.
I put Haley Glass. So it'd be Rudy, John, Anthony, and then who did I say?
John, Rudy, Haley Glass, Anthony Murata.
Yeah.
Did you say Cole Presley, or did you take him?
No, there's somebody else I said. Tyler Weaver.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's my 5. That's my
5. See, names are just coming to me now as I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I can't. Yeah, that's one for me. I'm not leaving her off the list. She may be my number 2. Michaela Johnson is one of the best of all time. So Michaela Johnson for me. Rudy Renan.
She would definitely be in Jackson Rudolph's top 5.
Well, she was amazing, dude. So those 2. John Valera. This is where it gets hard. I got to put Cole in there. I want to put Haley in there, but there's someone else that I want to put in, and that's Mike Seafray. Mike Seafray is one of my favorite competitors, man. His intensity was just insane. And again, I left out Tim. Tim is one of my favorite ones ever too.
I know.
And again, Edgar Cordova, like the longevity that he has had with the flying comma, dude.
I think it's
tough, but I'm putting those 5, and then I can kind of have my other 5 another time. I'll switch it up. I'll be a
both of us left off chat.
And honestly,
but it's true though, right?
Honestly, though, like chat.
His thumbprint on the sport was that he was responsible for a lot of the innovation of what we did with commas. Right. But performance for performance, I don't think he would beat Cole Presley. Well, I know he wouldn't beat Cole Presley.
No.
You know what I mean? But, so it's like, what are we talking about? And this is what we just tell the truth. You know what I mean? Just think that's crazy, but it's the truth.
Correct. All right. So where do we want to go next? What do we want to see in 2023? And then we can kind of talk about my thing that I was talking to you about. We can talk about the senior thing. We can kind of go a little bit here and there with that conversation, right?
Yep. Let's go for 2023. Yeah.
So what are changes you like to see in 2023? What are maybe some competitors you like to see come out? What are some people that you like to see do that maybe they don't do? What forms would you like to see more of? What forms do you like to see less of? What are some sparring rules that, of course, want to be changed? What is it, guys? Let's hear some of this.
Yeah, throw some stuff out there that you guys would love to hear. I'll spit out a couple that I would love to see, and see differently. I would love to see things that are different. I would love to see, if we're gonna, the sparring rules. It's one thing. Like, we got to make a decision. Are we
Yeah.
doing a front hand of the body or not?
Right.
And I think we've gotten to the point where it's like, yeah, we know it's a rule, but come on, guys, don't do it. We're
Right.
not really going to call it.
Right.
Or we all know it's a rule, but we're not going to do it, which is fine, totally cool. If everybody decides like it's totally scoreable, but we're not actually going to do that. So that's totally fine. I just don't think we're on board with what is that. As far as things that are different, I would very much appreciate is these things will never happen, but I would very much love the dismissal of the creative form divisions in weapons, all of it just gone,
It won't.
and to
that
go
won't
back
happen.
to open.
That won't
because
happen because of
I
people.
know it'll never happen. I know
Because
it'll
of
never
people
happen.
saying that it's only flips and that their schools don't do flips. So they're in some ways it's a way to even the playing field for places that don't teach that, right? That was probably the reason.
I think it might actually bring kicks back, though. You see what I mean? Because if we just make it like, all right, it's not, you don't have to do these extreme.
No. What's gonna do that is by actually making criteria in the division. Now that will actually make it. You have to do this. We're gonna grade you on this. We're gonna grade you on that. We're gonna grade you on that. That's
But
what's
then,
gonna
but then
actually
you could
happen.
toe the line, though, Jeff, because we've been saying so many awesome things that the NBL did. And here's one thing that I didn't love that they did was when they said, all right, you have to have at least 3 standing kicks at one point.
Yes,
would do
but
one,
if you
2, 3,
compared
and then
my
they keep
standing
going.
kicks to the other person that did it, that would give me an advantage. And there was something that you could compare
Yeah.
those two. Now you don't have that. You know what I'm saying? So they were giving up that, well, I can't really do it, but I have to do it just to qualify. But they didn't realize that they were getting graded on those kicks. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, some judges may not have, oh, well, they did it. It's like, yeah, but now you have to compare those things, right? So we're getting a lot of good stuff here. All right.
You guys got a lot of good stuff.
Same number of men and women divisions. All right. Make creative and extreme divisions musical optional and get rid of the musical division. Interesting one. I kind of like that one.
Actually a pretty cool idea.
Love this. This is what I want to see. The standard old kata come back in style. Basai. Go to Shio. Unsuit. Totally agree. Shotokan forms, baby. The pre-COVID prize money amounts need to come back up and even higher. Yep. Another one that says get rid of musical, make it optional like Promac. Here's the most obvious one. Eliminate the 2-point body kick.
I think if we do that, which I'm okay if that is the reality. I think if we're going to do that and we're going to have,
what does this mean?
Front hand of the body, just go all the way and say we're going to do walking rules.
Right. Do you mean get rid of SKMA uniforms, or what are you talking about? I want to know more about that.
He's talking about the sleeveless ones.
Yeah, get rid of them.
I don't know. Maybe he's talking about bringing them back.
Universal and consistent. Yes. Judge. Well, he's saying judge choreography. If you're going to do a musical division, you need to, which I agree on that. Oh, he's saying bring them back. Okay. There's people that wear that actually.
Yeah, but having
especially now because of Cobra Kai, man. Cobra Kai is super popular, so the sleeveless uniforms are in style more than ever.
I like different uniforms, but I think it's cool to bring out different uniforms. It's hard within martial arts to do that without actually looking like we're wearing pajamas. Right? There's some fighting uniforms that look like a 4-year-old's pajamas.
It's true.
So it's hard. But yeah, I like the idea of a sleeveless uniform. I think that'd be cool. Right?
A change for me that I like to see, which I already know it's not going to happen next year, which bothers me, it's just all the world tournaments not like being back to back and being on the same day or close to the weekend as diamonds. That just bothers me. I don't like it. But I don't think that's going to change. And they already announced the dates for some of them, and there's so much conflicting. So, yeah. So there's that.
Everybody's out for themselves.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, Doug. I know what you mean. This is something that used to be a thing in NASCAR, and I don't know why now it's just total points. If there's 9 tournaments in the NASCAR World Tour, it used to be that you would take your best of 7 or 6 tournaments or whatever, and that's what your rankings was, right? So you have your best one. So you would, if you went to all of them, you would get rid of your second places, and if you won first at all, that was what would be the top thing. But now it's going to be where it's just everything, right? So really just makes
Wow.
it, if there's 13 tournaments next year, you got to
And you
go
go
all
to
13 if you want to win the whole thing. If it's 13, it should probably be nine events. That yeah, it was like that before COVID. Exactly. I'm trying to read Carmichael's thing right
Yeah,
now.
put it up and let's read that because Carmichael's got a good point here.
And see, there's another division I want as
We're
well.
going to talk
All
about
right.
that now.
If you already have known traditional forms, just select top 5 CMX forms and compete with those to compare. Keep open equals everything. Make a stunt choreo division 2 for the forms that are actually applicable from. That's an interesting one. I kind of think on the other end, I actually want like a bunkai division. I think doing traditional forms and showing the applications of it. And actually, it doesn't even have to be a traditional form. Like, just make a bunkai division. You can do an open form. You can do a Kempo form. You can do a Korean form, Japanese form. Let's just see what style goes at it the best.
So kind of like
that's
the
a real
WKF.
traditional challenge, what their traditional challenge should be, right?
So kind of like the WKF, like World Championships do, where they
they have
do
a self-defense division. Yeah.
the kata, and then they do the application with the same series of moves.
Yeah, and I share that because I just did that in my belt test. I did the applications of a form that's American freestyle form, and most of the people in the system just learn. In a lot of these American styles, unfortunately, they have the kata, and then they have their 1 through 30 self-defense, right? And I'm sitting there like, the kata is the self-defense, right? We can. So that's one of the things that I'm trying to help and put into the system is that when they learn this kata and this form, they learn the reasons what they're doing. It's not just a showmanship type thing, Yeah, a bunkai division would be great for American Kempo, Liz. And so I think that would be fun, bunkai challenge, something like that. And you can do any type of form. I mean, let's see how it goes. If it gets to where some are doing, backflips and all kinds of things, okay. And that kind of goes into the self-defense division of how it was NBO, where there was a choreographed one and a traditional one. But even the traditional one, people weren't really doing bunkai, like the forms. They were just doing one steps. So, but yeah, so those are just some things that I'd like.
Before we go to the next division that I think you and I are about to talk about,
Yes.
One other thing that I'd like to see, and this also might sound drastic, is taking 13 and under out of the finals, right? And I'll say it like this, which is going to piggyback and it's going to go right into what we're going to talk about. So let's take the Diamonds, for example. Really good finals for the final men's forms division, okay? You and Joey Castro, if you had competed in your age division, would not have been in the finals.
Correct.
So we take the overall champion and the single hardest form that anybody's actually seen on that stage in a traditional setting would have never even been showcased.
Right.
But a 13 and under traditional weapons form that's not traditional, we'll watch that. And maybe 3 of them.
Oh, man.
It doesn't make sense.
We're going to get a lot of parents that don't want to watch
but
our
it doesn't
show.
make but when you say it like that, it doesn't make sense.
When you say that to other people in our that aren't in our sport from the outside, they would wonder, why are their kids being featured more than the adults, right?
It's exactly the reason why. When you go, if you, let's just say you, and you do this, you'll bring students, let's just say the Diamonds, and you'll go there and everybody competes in their set division.
Right.
And you got a student who can't hold a candlestick to you, right? You win all of your divisions. They win their divisions. You do not make it to. You are not allowed to be in the finals, but they are. What in the world are we talking about? They're your student. They can't even hold a candlestick to you, but they're being featured and you're not. We're not saying, no, we shouldn't be in there. You're not good enough. It's because we don't want a 17-hour finals.
Right.
Right.
Well, and there also
why are
has
we
to be
featuring these people and
there's
not
levels
the
to
true
it.
champions.
Right. There's levels to it. You have to work your way up to that. There's different things, like I don't agree, Doug. I don't think the underbelt, like need all that. They work their way up to be featured. And I understand, but not everyone can be featured. That's the thing. That's the truth,
Yeah,
Now, if you want to do that, hey,
your
at this
underbelt will be a
tournament,
black belt.
at this tournament we do this, and then at this tournament we do that. Okay, but it needs to be regulated where it's not crazy,
I like what Andrew's suggesting. 17 and under forms.
Yeah.
17 and under weapons.
Yeah.
I'm okay with splitting boys and girls.
That was one of the things that was great about NBL was that, we did that,
But that's also going back to what we did so many years ago. Like the finals would have been boys forms, boys weapons, girls form, girls weapons, right? Men's form, women's form, adult weapons. I'm okay with splitting. And then the adult fighting.
Right.
Now.
And now if we want to do 30 plus, why not put them? Then you have the way you can put them in the finals. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
But now when you split the traditionals and the CMX and you have so many age ranges and the median age for the people in the finals is so low, like it's not even an adult level. What are we doing? What are we talking about?
Well, yeah. And that's just kind of what's the future of what we're doing. You know what I mean? So
we can't say that the future is going to be them and we're going to cater to them and they're going to carry it through because they're not going to be there 25 straight years doing the same thing.
Right.
The people who do that are the martial arts professionals.
What about more junior?
Which is okay.
Again, really.
But then look at how we're treating the martial arts professionals. Look at you and Joey. Just because I used you guys as an example. You clearly aren't wanting to like showcase them as they go up because you guys, your age division would have been featured and it wasn't.
Right.
And if you guys hadn't
that's what
decided
people say that
I'm going to go to the kids and beat them, you would never have made it. Nobody would ever seen it.
Correct. So, all right, one of the things that we have talked about as well is a Korean Challenge division, right? We're hoping.
Oh yeah, I got questions for you, my friend.
Here's the thing with that. Why do we need that? We don't really need one in the adults. So if people are doing it just for adults, we don't really need one. Okay.
Because we have a Korean Forms division.
We have a Korean Forms division. Now, if you're going to make it a challenge, then it's supposed to be a challenge. So make it 2 rounds. Just like the traditional challenge. There is no difference right now in the Japanese Forms division and the traditional challenge division. What's the point of it? What we need Korean Forms in is the junior competitors. We need that because there is nothing for that. And that is what actually influences and hinders the Korean division for the adults as far as the quality. But also, if the judges don't see it enough, then they don't know how to judge it, right? So exactly, 2 rounds is what it should be. That's why when originally we talked about it, we said either do 2 rounds with the top 4, move on, have to do a different form, or we even talked about doing the 2 forms back to back and giving the average, right? So
I think that's the fairest way.
I think that's a fun way and it's the fairest way, and you have to do 2 forms, and you have to
someone could be a one-trick pony.
Exactly, and
right
now
and then they're out.
Japanese forms, that's a little bit harder to do because the forms are longer. But I feel like there has to be some way where you have to do 2 forms.
Because, yes, you absolutely.
Because right now they're all doing the same thing that they're doing in both divisions for the most part. The only person that does multiple forms and changes it up all the time is Joey Castro in that, For myself, I did 3 different forms at Diamonds, right? Taekwondo forms. I did Chungmu, Oji, and Moonmu, right? The term before, I did Oyam. The tournament before that, I did Kodang. I've done different ones. Some people do, some people don't. So I think that's what we want to see more of, is that well-roundedness. That's why I think Joey Castro has so much respect because of that. You know what I mean?
Well, I think you're right on, and I think, like we mentioned, like you don't want to be
So
like
yeah,
someone
exactly,
who's
because they are the same division. I don't want the Korean
yes,
challenge and the
absolutely.
Korean division to be the same. What's the point, right? That's not what we need. Now if you're gonna make it a set, and again, like we said, people are like, well, they need a chance to be in the finals. Okay, then
No, they
feature it as a
don't.
separate thing, or just give a separate prize for it. That's what I would say. Just do a cash prize for the challenge, make it 2 rounds, and its own cash thing, because it's a challenge, so it's supposed to be like awesome, right? It's supposed to be harder, so it's a challenge. Give prize
And
money to it, just
with
like
the
you would.
cash that they're bringing in from these registrations now,
Right,
oh my goodness,
right.
these registrations, they are like, if you were to tell a joke about, you would
I
just
like
like
the trophy,
write
but they can
prices
get some
down.
money with that trophy too.
You would not even write the prices down that they're charging now as a joke. They're so high. Do you know that I went to register my daughter for 2 divisions at the Diamonds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take a guess. Take a guess what we were looking at, right?
I think you said what, 240?
It was like 218.
Okay,
Just her.
right. Mine were a lot.
Don't even need to go there because you did a ton. Let's
Yeah,
not do that. Right?
yeah. I don't need my sponsor getting mad at me about that. I'm just kidding. But yeah, huh? Carmine was just saying that it's all about stage time, which I agree, because really that's why Joey and I compete, and even Drew talked about before. We'll compete down to get the stage time because it's important, right? Yeah, Doug, try having 4 competitors. That's
And
nuts.
this is it. So it's like,
Yeah.
why not? If you want to, I actually think the Korean Challenge would be super cool
Yeah,
because
especially for kids.
for kids, I think it'd be cool for teenagers and for adults, like young adults. I think it'd be cool because when people first reach the adult division, I don't think everybody knows where they're going to be. Like you
Right.
mentioned,
Yeah.
right? One of the best common competitors you remember was Kalman Choka. Nobody would remember him now if you're, in the last 10 years. It's been
As a common competitor.
it's been 11 years since
longer
he's
than
been
that.
retired,
Right.
right? Think of that. How wild is that?
Right.
All right. You would never know him for that. You'd know him for his sword form, right? Which you
Correct.
should.
Right.
But look at this. So not everybody's knows where they want to land and have their set division. But I look at it as like, I felt like when everybody who's doing, 18 to 29 Korean, everybody did Gaebek. I was like, I can win this one. I can
Right.
win this. Right. But I didn't have a second form that I felt like would be comparable. Right. No, I didn't have one. I mean, I could do like maybe Kwange, maybe.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't do choreo, but everybody does choreo,
Yeah.
Kwange is not that different. So I think a second form would be great. Now, here's what the questions I have
For
for
top
you.
4 or where
No,
everyone had to
just
do it.
do 2 forms, right?
Yeah.
So even then, all right, if you're even like, oh, well, you only have those 2 forms, okay, it's at least better than
At least
just
it's
the
better
one.
than just one. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So Jeff, what are some forms that would be really awesome if there was a Korean challenge that maybe people just don't know?
And ones that wouldn't be too difficult to do. I mean, we know Moonmoo, but Juche is another one that's
all right. Like,
just
here's an example. Like, remember when you and I were chatting when you were ringside, and you're like, "All right, I'm going to do Chungmoo," right?
yeah.
And I was like, "Oh yeah," and
Yeah,
I
Junjang.
had and I was talking about the move when we
Junjang.
come here, and I had the actual movement wrong, and you're like, "No, that's not what that move's supposed to do. It's
Right.
supposed to grab here."
Yeah.
I was like, "Good thing I never competed with that because I would have done that completely wrong." Right?
Yeah.
So
Tim's
even
naming
Chungmoo.
some great names right now of some. So
Oh,
Chunjang, Yusin is a great one. I like the form that Tracy Tracy is doing right now, Tracy Armstead is doing right now, he would have to actually do what he's doing is doing 2 forms and making it 1 because they're so short because they're WT forms, right? And so actually, if in this case, he would actually do 1 and get a score and then do the other and get a score. So it's kind of cool. I don't know the names of their WT forms. They're a little bit shorter. Taybeck is a great form. You know, Joshua Pittman won the overall grands at Super Grands one year, winning with Taybeck.
See, now
me,
you can't just say these because
no, people
it
don't
doesn't
know.
mean anything to me. Tell me what some of these are. Like if you say like, oh yeah, Chung Moo, it's the one with the run jump side gig in it. I'm like,
that one.
right.
Yeah. So Taybeck's a WT form. It's not an ITF form. So they have the side kick elbow smashes in them, kind of similar to Konku Dai or Kun San Kun, which is a Tang Soo Do form. Now, when we're looking at ITF forms, I'd say a Choi Young would be really good. I've been working with a couple of people on that form. It has a round kick, spin, hook kick, side kick, like lock.
Excuse me, what?
And then elbow smash. It's like so strong and powerful. It's great. Oyama is a great one because there's twist kicks. And then there's spin, lock leg, hook kicks. I've done that before. Yeah, I've done that one before. I really like that one. The hard part about that is just a straight line. The Choi Young is really cool.
Okay, wait. I'm going to pause on that.
It goes in across.
I'm going to pause on that. When you say it's hard on that because it's a straight line, this is the tough part about Korean forms because some of them do just go in a straight line forward and back to where like when people
that's why judges need to be in the corners.
On corner. Okay. Yeah. That was going to be my question.
Yep.
Do you think you should turn it or what should we do?
No, don't turn it.
Having them be on corners. Okay. Yes. Yeah, that does solve it.
Yes. Now see, at traditional tournaments, they're not side by side. They're spread out around the front line. So you can get different views and stuff. So
I think, isn't it like one in one corner, one in the other corner, and one in the back?
That's in traditional in some, but yeah. Like in Japanese, I believe.
Right.
But yeah, so there's that. Toige is a good one. Sosan is one I like because you have where you have your hands out here, you do a side kick to the back, and then you turn all the way around and do another side kick to the front, or you can switch that to like a round kick if you want. So
see, I like Tim.
No,
I didn't say anything.
No, Tim, no.
No, I agree with Tim.
Tim can kick high enough. Tim can kick high enough to where you can actually see his side kicks. All right. So to me, actually, when you turn Gaybeck sideways,
can't kick high enough.
I'm getting kind of frustrated. Right. When you turn Gaybeck sideways, and from the front view, now all I see is toes when you do your side kick, instead of the heel and actually the actual.
People don't look at you do it where because you are focused on he's about the side kick. I'm going to look at the heel, but really when you're doing it straight on, all you see is crotch.
No, you don't see crotch because the side kicks are to the back. All you see is head if you can't kick high enough, but they can kick high enough and they should see the heel and the hip
when it's going
and the line. Back. So, but again,
see, Tim, I don't disagree with you. I agree with you. Jeff disagrees with us vehemently.
I just think I don't want to see toes when I'm saying that's most of the time where it is. So, but anyways.
All right. So I think what we're figuring out is a Korean challenge would be really cool.
It'd be cool. Now, what is it going to start? Is it going to start a Kimpo challenge and of this challenge and
that's
that?
The downside.
Yes. So we have a Kimpo division. We would need one for the problem is here's the problem. We're having to create these things because we don't have anything for our junior competitors in NASCA. It's just all one conglomerate thing, mumbo jumbo called traditional, which has turned into a Japanese division. And you're making all these competitors have to switch when it shouldn't happen. It should be that you're allowed to do this or this or that. So really, we just need junior competitors. Okay. We need junior divisions for these things. styles more than
Yeah.
styles more than splitting it up by age and gender. That was the thing that
Yeah.
NBL always did, and it actually was more fair. All right, and people will complain, why are boys and girls competing against each other? It's not fair. Crap. That's crap, because
In
there
traditional
was
forms, it is fair.
at least 9, actually 12 junior divisions, right, for traditional. Most of the time, at least half of those, female won over male. So it wasn't so, it was really fair. A lot of
Yeah.
the female competitors won in the Korean divisions, the Japanese divisions. The only one in the Kimbo division, the only one that I would say, and I'm not saying that there wasn't success, but maybe there was a little bit more dominance on the male side, was traditional weapons because of the heaviness of the bows and stuff, maybe, right? But yeah. Yeah, and I agree with that too, Drew. Like, there should be Kaju more in that Kimpo division. There should be where's maybe because again, where's the Polynesian side of it? Where's the Filipinos go? The Filipino styles go, like Kuntao and different things.
So it's hard with us, and I say us, I mean the open circuit culture, right?
Yes.
It's hard because the way that the open martial arts competition circuit started was that we didn't divide
Right.
all of these things.
Right.
And we went, hey guys, everybody come with your best stuff.
Yep.
And then we'll just do form. And then it was like, hey, but these guys do weapons. Weapons, what is this?
Yeah.
All right, well, everybody, you want to do that? Here we go. Weapon, right? And then you fight this way. You have this fighting style, fighting. And that's what we did. And it was pretty unifying. Like, I didn't know anybody who did Kung Fu, but I fought against some of the guys and I'm like, you do Kung Fu?
Right.
All right, big ups. Didn't know anything about that, right? So it was kind of cool. So the more, it's almost like, how deep do we want the rabbit hole to go if we want to keep dividing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I get you.
But we already know, like, look at how far down we've gone. That's why with some of those divisions that we have split up, I am saying we should combine them back.
Right.
And the ones
I tell you, I think the best division I said wasn't even the Korean one. It was the Bunkai division, dude. Because I think that would unify it more than anything.
I think I agree with you because it doesn't matter your style.
Because we get to really see. I'm gonna be honest. Most people have no clue what they're looking at when they see a Kimpo division or Kimpo form, but I bet you they'd understand it if they saw the application of it. I bet you they'd understand, some of these Japanese forms a little bit if you saw the application. Some of the Korean forms, the application of it. Some of the, any of the different styles, and I think it would help overall. Maybe a
wushu one,
maybe a kung fu one.
Cool,
like and not separate. Just this is what it is. It's a self-defense division, but if you call it Bunkai, you do a portion of the form and then you follow immediately with that, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's great. So I just shared me doing one of these forms and the way I did it for my test. Maybe you guys will kind of see what I'm talking about. So you can go to on Facebook, Jeff Doss, and I shared myself doing that. This is a form called Star Form. It was just that we do in American Freestyle. So, all right, we kind of went all over the place, but I think this is
some direction.
fun. No, we had an amazing show. This is great. Changes.
What?
Or I know for me, I was talking to you about me possibly Miami being one of my last tournaments doing creative divisions, as I'm focusing more on what I'm into right now. And that's my focus on Korean forms and traditional and making that, the thing. We've talked plenty of times. It's hard to be an all-around competitor. You can be an all-around competitor, but are you going to be elite and win grands in every single thing?
It's not just that. It's just like it's exhausting to do.
It
all
is,
of
and
that.
there's certain things that for me to be my
Isn't
best at
enjoyable
for say Moon Moo, do I need to be doing my creative where I'm kicking all the place and going crazy and pulling all the muscles in my body? It's
and
kind of
then
tough.
straining your lower back before you're going to go do Moon Moo.
Right. Exactly.
So last
Yes, live
comment.
shows would be great next year as well.
Yeah. Last
working on
comment
that.
on this. I think with as much talk as about with the Moon Moo challenge. By the way, guys, that was over 2 years ago that we talked about this. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. That's probably 3 years ago. Well, it was when we started the show. So
Yeah. So it was like 3 years ago. Damn.
Yeah.
Look at this show. Awesome. 10 years later, we'll be saying that. Anyway, I think now that it's out there, it's been performed, and it was like a oh shit moment. You know what I mean? I think it's just an outsider because I'm not going to be the one involved. You and John Chung, I'm recruiting John Chung to do something, should get together and figure out how we can make this Korean division happen at top tier tournaments.
Right. Or just make it, just push more. There's lots of things we can do. I agree. Oh, here's one person I like to see compete in 2023. And Ross Cook.
Oh, yeah, that might happen.
I hope so, man. We need Ross Cook competing.
Dude. That dude, that's a
so
bundle of athleticism.
He's so good.
Smart athleticism.
I want to see more of our 30-plus guys, too. I want to see more Tim Conkle. I want to see Chad Cannon doing forms again. But Chad Cannon's kind of the same way. He's like, you know what? I'm going to focus on my fighting. I can go out and kill it in forms, but I'm going to focus on my fighting.
We keep seeing Steve doing some tricks, man. Is he going to put on a uniform?
We thought about Matt Cato. Hey, man, there's a lot of
fun
stuff. Oh, another one I mentioned. Kyle Richards. I want to see him compete again, man.
Dude.
I know.
I think I just heard about him like a couple weeks ago when we were at the Diamonds. Troy was talking about him. Troy was talking to him. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Good stuff. All right.
Man, this was a fun one.
Yes.
We got a special guest next week, guys.
Oh, that's right. All right. Yeah. Let's tell everybody. We got Mr. Team Revolution himself, Canelo Lovelace, going to be on the show. We're going to chop it up. This is going to be right before we go to Miami. So it's going to be a great time sharing just about the evolution of Team Revolution.
Yeah,
where
it
he
is
came
now the
from.
largest team that is out there.
Yes, the largest team that's out there right now. His plans for it, him running a tournament, Detroit martial arts, actually his involvement with the tournament there used to be a NASCA World Tournament or National Tournament back then, I guess, before it was World, in his area that his instructor ran. So we want some things that people may not even know, right? So lots of cool things. So we're going to have a lot of fun. So Canelo Lovelace next week, Team Revolution.
It's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a great time.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week. God bless, guys.